Well, hello there. Welcome to Ask a Student Union College Student Success Edition. I'm Taryn Rouse, and I'm the Executive Director of Student Success. And I have with me today a few of our wonderful ladies that work in the Student Success and Career Center area. And we're going to start by introducing them. So I would like to hear from all of you lovely ladies. If you can tell me your name. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties there. Sorry. Okay, so let's start with you, Miss Lacey. Can you tell us where you're from, your class level, and your major, and then maybe something fun, like maybe something that surprised you about Union or Lincoln when you started?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Lacey. I grew up in Alaska. So kind of live there, kind of live in Oregon, kind of live in Lincoln during the school year. I'm a senior level nursing student. Actually, in 2 days, we done with my fourth semester of nursing. Um, I think one of the things that surprised me the most about Lincoln, I hadn't been there before I moved there, was just all the little fun little like coffee shops and cafes. I didn't realize there was like that much of it there, and there really is when you go and you start looking around.
I will confirm that I have walked into many coffee shops that Lacey is there studying at. So yes.
You can always find me at a coffee shop
Yes.
studying, except for right now, social distance, stay home.
Oh, it's true, but it's a little bit sad. But thank you, Miss Lacey. All right, Miss Trina, you are up next.
I am the career counselor at Union. Just getting ready to go into my second year. So I help academic advise incoming students, but then also help people settle into the right major for them, and then work with my career assistant, Hannah, to find jobs, internships, work on resumes, that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Trina. And Trina is my better half. That's what I like to call her. So thank you for being you, Trina. All right, Miss Katie, tell us about you.
I'm Katie. I am a senior business administration major, and I will be done with college in 2 days.
Woo-hoo.
And my favorite, well, where I'm from is a really ridiculous question because I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but then I moved 9 times in 11 years, and I have no place that I call home. So I don't answer that question, but my favorite thing about Lincoln, or like what surprised me, is how much it like changes. It's not like it's the same restaurants all the time and the same coffee shops and the same ice cream shops. There's always new like boutiques and different places to eat opening up. So there's always something to experience. Every single year there's something new to go try out.
That is true. Katie, I'm letting you know that when our favorite boutique opens up soon, we should probably meet there, socially distanced. Shop 6 feet apart. So thank you, Katie. And last but not least, Miss Hannah, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I am a sophomore level elementary education major. I also work for Trina as the career assistant. Did I say I'm from Orlando? Yeah, I'm from Orlando. And the thing that surprised me most about Union is that there's a police substation in the bottom of the girls' dorm. So that was surprising.
And for anybody that's worried about that, it's not because we need police on campus. It's just that we have a really nice location for them. And it's nice that they're right there just in case we ever need anything. They are right there and they're very nice.
Yeah, it makes me feel really safe.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about kind of our area. So we work in student success. And so we help with students with career coaching, with life coaching, with tutoring, with supplemental instruction. Let's talk a little bit about tutoring. Have any of you been tutors? I know you have because I know you all, or have received any tutoring? Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? I'm not calling anybody. Somebody just has to unmute. Lacey unmuted.
Yeah, I will. I actually love to talk about tutoring. So I think one of the really cool things that we can offer is this peer-to-peer tutoring, where it can be somebody who's maybe taken the class you're taking before, somebody who is currently in the class, and you get this opportunity to sit down with this person maybe once, twice a week, really whatever you need, and talk through homework, talk through test reviews, kind of just really solidify information. And it just gives you another resource to really learn content. I have done tutoring for groups too. And I think the other really cool thing about that is that brings together groups of people where maybe somebody understands something in a way that they can explain it to somebody else. And so we get to facilitate these conversations where, okay, you learned a really cool acronym for remembering this. Let's share that with, everybody else so that we can all figure out how to learn these things best, because everybody learns a little bit differently. And so just really being able to provide that resource for students and just see how it can really help. And I know that in our nursing program, we have a lot of upperclassmen, upper levels that help and just are really like, hey, we've taken that class. Like, here are some really good things to know. Here's how to study for that class. And that just really helps form a sense of community and also just like help people make it through classes.
One of my favorite memories of you tutoring, Lacey, was at the beginning of this last semester. So you're level 4, which is probably the toughest semester out there. And I came into work and there was a bunch of level 1 students sitting on the floor around you, like surrounding you, like you were like this nursing goddess. And you were telling them all the things they needed to know. And they were like just couldn't stop listening to you. And I just thought, oh, she's so good at this. And they were just staring at you. And you really did help them a ton though. But that's one of my favorite memories of you.
I think that is something that, right, like you get to help people in such a way that is different than maybe you typically would. And so, I mean, I've learned things in level 1 from level 4s and level 5s that now I can pass on to the people who are just now starting and be like, okay, here is really how you need to study for this class. And I think every major can do that in its different way as you progress through the courses and you go through generals and then you get into the content and then like the meat of your major. And then you can pass it on to the people who are just starting and be like, okay, here's how you're gonna have to study for these. Here's the amount of time you're gonna have to put into this, and just be able to like facilitate community. It's a huge way to facilitate community.
I agree. Hannah and Katie, I think you both have had some experience with tutoring also in different areas. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I was a part of the embedded tutor program, which is a super cool program basically where I sat in on all the classes with the students, which was really valuable because it was helpful for the students even in class to be able to ask me questions rather than like having to go to the teacher, or if I could explain the concept in a different way that helped the students understand it more than the teaching style that the teacher was using. That was really helpful. Also, I've been doing some tutoring virtually, so we are really dedicated to continuing our tutoring process, and I think that's awesome that we're so dedicated to our students in that way.
Yes, thank you. Katie, anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I'll just take it from a different spin. I was one that was tutored, and in the business division, I'm a marketing emphasis because I can't do numbers, and we used to have to take principles of accounting, and one of the components to that is there's a comprehensive problem, which is like basically the entire semester compiled into one project, and you just like go through step after step, and it was really challenging for me. But I was able to go to tutoring and work alongside like other people outside of class and work at my own pace and get help and like really ensure that like I was performing at my best. So by going to tutoring, it's really just helping you help yourself, because of going to tutoring, I was able to get 100 on that project because I was able to get insight from my other classmates and from someone who understood it better than I did.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And in case anyone's wondering, we do offer free tutoring for any class that's offered on Union College's campus. And like Hannah said, right now everything is virtual, but we're still zooming away with our tutoring. So thank you girls for that. Miss Trina, would you mind talking a little bit about Focus 2 and kind of what you're doing and working on with students right now?
Yes, I love Focus 2. People in the office are probably done hearing me talk about it.
Never.
It is an amazing resource, though. It compiles 5 assessments that go over things like your skills, your values, kind of your priorities when it comes to work, even things like leisure. And it puts all of those together to compile majors recommended for you and then related careers recommended for you with all that information. And depending on which thing you value the most, so do you want time for those leisures, then it's going to suggest career paths that will make sure that you have time or resources for the leisure part of your life. Or if you really value using your skills on the job, then it'll prioritize those kinds of things. So it's a great tool right from the beginning. We've been encouraging the students coming in as freshmen next year to take it because it can help direct them in what major that they should start in, and especially broadening, like students might have an idea of what major they think they're interested in, but they can't really know until they know all the options. So it's one way to know all the options before zeroing in on one or two majors that you're deciding between. And then it can also be really helpful for people even sophomore, junior, senior year as they're thinking about like, okay, well, I started my major thinking this career path, but really what are the career paths? So it kind of connects with what are the career options given the major and the degree that I'm working toward.
And Hannah, you kind of have an interesting story on how you kind of came to your major. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So I originally started at a different college in speech pathology. And I decided that was not the course for me. It was too science oriented. It was too detailed for me. So instead, I switched to business because my family is like all in business. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to do business. And I hated it. I did an internship and I did not enjoy it at all. It was not for me. It's awesome for some people, but not for me. So I was kind of reevaluating, like, what am I going to do with my life? So I prayed about it a lot. I talked to people about it a lot. I actually did take a lot of career tests that kind of all told me the same thing, which was kind of that I should be being a teacher, but I was kind of hesitant to take that on because of a lot of the negativity that I've heard surrounding being a teacher. But eventually I came to terms with that's what I'm meant to do. And I am loving it, absolutely loving it. The program is fantastic. If you're thinking about being a teacher, come to Union. If you're thinking about doing anything, come to Union because it's the best school ever, but teaching is the best ever. So please do that. And yeah, that's kind of how I found my way. I think it was definitely a calling from God. So I think that's something that Union definitely helped me discover.
Awesome, thank you. And just a reminder to everybody that's watching this right now, if you want to add any questions into the chat, please do, and we'll be happy to answer pretty much anything. These girls know a lot about Union, not just in our area, a lot about Union and Lincoln, so they will answer anything, I guarantee it. Okay, Lacey, I have to ask this question. What did you want to be when you grew up, Lacey?
So what I really wanted to be when I was 3 or 4 years old was a cat. But you know, the Lord has worked in my life, and with a lot of schooling, I am almost graduated with my nursing degree. So slight change in plans.
Katie, did you always want to go into business?
No, actually, I had no idea what I wanted to do for a while, and I took career tests in high school. And honestly, I haven't told anyone this, but I consistently kept getting scores that told me I should be a funeral home director. And so I felt really discouraged coming into college because I didn't know what I wanted to be. But I knew I'd lived around the world a lot and I spoke a lot of languages, and Union had an international relations program. So I figured that would be a good fit for me. So I started there. But as I kept going through the program, I realized that it just wasn't exactly what I was thinking it would be. I mean, it's a great program, but it was just like it aired more on the political side, and I just wasn't interested in politics as much. So I was like, well, I still have no idea what to do, but it seems that business can be plugged in anywhere. So I talked to Lisa Forbes, and she's the chair of the business division, and she helped get me into business. and actually like helped me accomplish so many things. I'm still able to graduate in 4 years with starting as an international relations major and taking a year off to do Adventist colleges abroad. So I still have no idea what I want to do with my life, but at least I'm going to have a degree, and it's versatile.
Hey, and I hear funeral home directors are always, you know, available. I would love to know what about your assessment brought to that result. I'm dying to know.
Organization? I have no idea.
I love that you told us that. Thank you. Thank you for the honesty. Oh, that's so great. Okay, I have to ask you guys this. What do you miss most about Union right now? Because obviously this semester did not go the way we all intended or planned. When we all said bye to each other, it wasn't bye for this semester, it was bye, we'll see you next week. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. So what do you miss most about Union right now? Lacey.
People. That is like, for me, has been the biggest thing transitioning to doing everything online, is I didn't realize how much social interaction we had kind of on a daily basis, even just working, being in class, interacting with your classmates, going to clinical, just being in the library on campus. And just, I think that's something that Union does so well, is this sense of community and just building that and facilitating that. And you have that. And then all of a sudden everybody's learning from home and it's different. And I think Union did a great job of like continuing to facilitate that as much as you can online, but it's not quite the same as being there in person, being able to give somebody a hug or be like, hey, how's your week going? Like, let's sit down, let's talk, let's study together. So I think my biggest thing is people, and I am a major extrovert, like, yeah, so social interaction for sure.
Yes, agreed. Hannah, what about you?
I'd have to echo that same thing. Everybody knows I didn't go to Union in the beginning. I'm a transfer student. So the other school I went to, it doesn't have the same feel. Like there is nothing, like I heard people say it before I came to Union and I was like, what does that even mean? But like, it is so true. Like there is a different feel there. Like it is a family. Everyone is like the nicest person you've ever met. And it's just wonderful. Everybody's so happy and kind and they care so much about you, like your professors, your bosses, people you don't even know are just like will come up and just talk to you, and like it's incredible. So I miss that the most, community.
Yes. Trina, I know you're in Lincoln, Trina, but it's not the same because we're not together.
It's not the same, and it's largely just being able to remember who we're doing our jobs for. So definitely what Lacey said, the people. I'm still like meeting with people over Zoom and emails and stuff, but not being able to just have those like conversations in passing that happen when we're there in the office. I miss that so much. Mm-hmm. What about yours, Taryn?
The red couch, and you guys, I miss, so okay, for anybody who's been to our office before, we have this red couch that we sit on a lot and we talk and we have our drinks together and we'll eat candy. I miss that, and I miss all of us sitting on my carpet. I just miss students. I miss hugging them. Yeah, it's just, I'm with you on that one there. Katie, what about you?
I feel like mine is kind of a testament to what everyone else has been saying. So I've been really grieving graduation, and I don't think that it's because like I'm even sad that I won't get to walk. It's more that I'm sad I won't get to say goodbye to everyone. Like I didn't get any closure with all my friends or my professors who like I didn't have to worry about when are their office hours or like contact them to schedule an appointment via email. I could just walk into their office and it didn't have to be anything school related. I could just talk to them about like what was going on in my life. So like not being able to like say goodbye to those like mentor figures, and everyone has really been hard. I'm getting teary just talking about it.
I got your graduation announcement and you look so gorgeous, and it's going up on my wall as soon as I get back to the office. It's going up, but I know it's not the same. If you guys could give advice to baby freshmen coming in, what would it be? Like, what do you wish you would have known coming into Union College when you did? Katie, I'm gonna start with you this time.
Yes, I got this. I just had to write this down for a final today, so I've been able to reflect on it. It's definitely, so I took a Chris Blake class, which he's no longer teaching anymore. He retired, but one of his phrases he always told us was "do your balanced best." And as a freshman, sophomore, I was like, that makes no sense. Please stop, old wise man. But like senior year, I really understood it is so important to do your balanced best, because even if you're excelling in school and you're like, just like that's your only focus, your relationships are suffering, your self-care is suffering, like you're not getting sleep, so you're not taking care of yourself. And so like, yeah, your grades might be great, but are you really doing anything to prepare yourself for like work or like how to handle friendship, stuff like that? So you always need to be pouring into, like, I say 3 categories, which is like school, relationships, and yourself. And I think like God is above all those things, but I think it's really important to like be pouring into those things, but pouring into them equally, because it's not worth investing into only one category. You need to be investing into all 3 categories. And if you're feeling burnt out in one place, that means you need to readjust, reevaluate what you're doing.
That's a good point. All of you, like all 3 of you, are very motivated girls. And you really, really, you push hard. And I've wondered if any of you've ever regretted, like, did you feel like you had enough fun, or did you, Lacey, let's go to you next on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can speak to this. So I am extremely type A.
Enneagram 3.
Yes, and you're highly competitive, like very social, very loves to be involved in everything, but also I have the tendency to, whatever I do, I want to do my very best at it. And I think that's great. And I think whatever you put your mind to, or whatever you want to do, you can do it, and you can put 100% in. But like Katie said, you have to be putting effort into those relationships, and into yourself, and into your relationship with God, and like experiences for your resume for work. Nursing school, everybody kind of tells you when you get into nursing school, well, say goodbye to your social life. And well, okay, you have to study a lot. Like that is just nursing school. You have to study a lot. I think that you can take those times when you're studying with friends, and enjoy that time together, and take Saturday night off, take Friday afternoon off, and do things that fill your cup. And I think that if I was sitting down talking to somebody who is just starting college for the first time, I think that something I would tell them is like basically repeating what Katie said, like making sure you're taking care of yourself, you are building relationships, and you're focused on school too, because you're here to learn. But just really, school is not everything. And I'm very hesitant to say that, but it's not. It's really important, but make sure that you are building relationships along the way too. Because when I think about really good times, I think about the times I've spent with friends, and the times we spent in the library studying, really late or whatever, but we've been laughing and talking and learning content. I don't think about that test grade I got, or that grade I got on an assignment. I kind of think about the experiences. And so my other thing that I would say to freshmen coming in is get involved. I think that was something, because I, like Hannah, transferred in, and I was really nervous about transferring in halfway through a school year. And I think one of the biggest things that was helpful for me was to get involved, and to really just make sure, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but to just go to things. Or if you do music, get involved with doing stuff for the church, or if you really like clubs or organize, get involved with your interests, so you can start building those connections with people. But
Thank
great
you, Lacey.
everything.
I just want to add something to what Lacey said really quick, is that it's really easy to get caught up in school because you're thinking about your future employer, at least for all of us, because we're all very similar achievers. But just know that your employer is also looking at stuff like, how did you get involved? They talk to your friends, they talk to your professors, how are they socially? They ask, I've had in several interviews this semester, people ask me, what do you do for fun? So like it's important that you, like what I was saying and what Lacey's saying, because like they're not just looking at your GPA, although they do look at your GPA, but that's not the only thing that they're looking at. So
Good point. Miss Hannah?
So first of all, if I had to go back and tell Hannah, little freshman Hannah, I would say, you belong at Union. What are you doing? And I would have started college at Union. But second of all, I would say, like, so I've had a lot of major changes, obviously, and spent a lot of time thinking about, like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, I don't know, like, is this the right path? And for one, I would say, don't worry about that so much. A lot of it is going in and trying classes and figuring out what you like and what you don't like. And then number two, which is plug, we're going to be 100% internships. Go out there and talk to people who are really doing the jobs and intern and shadow people, because that is how you figure out for real if that's what you really are meant to do with your life. When I went in and did my business internship, everything in me screamed, if you do this for the rest of your life, you will not be happy. And as soon as I stepped in for my first observation for teaching, I said, there's nothing I would rather spend my life doing than this. So that is like the most important advice that I feel like I could ever give to a freshman.
That's really good advice. I remember I was in college many moons ago now, but I felt pressure to declare a major right away, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was 17, I think, at that point. I mean, I had no idea. And I wish I would have maybe waited a little bit longer and tried some classes out. And I think people think they have to know what they want to do right away. I mean, at least he wanted to be a cat, and that didn't work that well for her. She's going to be an amazing nurse. So I think it's okay to not know. And Trina, like, is a fantastic mentor in that area, and she can really help guide you where you want to go also. So yes, I agree with that. Trina, anything to add?
I think maybe just rephrasing what's already been said, but coming to college and holding your plans loosely. It's a good idea to have a direction, know what gives you life or what interests you, but hold those plans loosely and kind of let God direct. Listen when you hate a certain type of class or you love a certain type of class, especially if those are classes that will end up making up your degree. When you're done with school, there are some degrees that can work for a variety of jobs. So then you want to make sure that you're spending the time in school enjoying your classes and liking the interactions that you have with like-minded people who are taking the same major.
And guys, I think we're hitting our time limit here, but Trina, do you want to end it on asking one of your famous questions that makes me think, which I don't like feelings for anybody out there, but she's really great at these, and she asks really good questions that make you think about your life. If you have one on hand, I put you on the spot.
Yeah, the one that I always ask, because it's like, I think it says so much about us, is what I already mentioned. What gives you life? So what are the little things that just kind of like light you up, or that when you go through the day doing, that energize you for the rest of your day? And that can be things that lead to how you spend your free time. So in between your jobs and classes, what's the thing that re-energizes you? But it also can lead to what are the things you want to spend your career and your life doing. Like Hannah, I also was told, like, thinking about what to do with my degree, I knew I wanted to do English and something related to writing, maybe some psych and religion, because I had a variety of interests. And for me, like for Hannah, she was told, don't do education because it doesn't pay a lot. For me, I was told, do education because that's how you can do English and make a career out of it. So I got to sophomore year and decided education was not for me. I wanted to maybe go into college education, but I did not want to teach elementary or high school. But it was a lot of like going the hard way to figure out what gives me life and realize, okay, the thing that people say is a career or is reliable doesn't give me life. And I think that happens for a lot of people. We hear the input based on like what our salary is going to be, or little things that to other people matters, but it's really important what matters to us. So if you have an example, I'd love to hear what gives you life or is giving you life currently.
I have to go last because I never know these questions, these answers.
Are we going the order on my screen? If so, we're starting with Hannah.
Okay. Whew.
Okay. So a lot of things give me life. I'm a very happy person. But one of the big thing right now that's keeping me going and keeping me happy and everything is I love working out so much, and I've been working really hard lately, and it's just it's such a stress relief for me. So with everything going on, it's a lot. And, just the state of the world and not being able to be with your friends, feeling kind of isolated from them, which is hard because I'm also an extrovert, if you cannot tell. So that's also difficult. So I can't really get my life too much through a screen. So working out helps a lot with that.
And I can just attest that we have a team of a lot of people who enjoy working out. I am not one of them. I am working out adverse. But it's amazing. You can tell that working out gives you guys life because you come to work talking about it, and it has actually motivated me to start working out. It's amazing. When something gives someone life, it flows over and gives life to other people. So keep it up, Hannah. You're an inspiration. All right, Lacey, you're next.
Okay, so I am one of those that also likes to work out. And I really love the gym. That for me is I could just go to the gym, put my headphones on, and I really love to lift. So I can't do that right now. So working out at home, but the other piece of me that really fills my soul is being outside. And so I have been, I have a very outdoorsy family. So we've been fishing a lot. We've been hiking. We've been just kind of driving in the mountains. We have a dog, so I run the dog or walk the dog at least once a day. And just right now, kind of like Hannah said, just to finding that stress reliever that fills your cup. That for me has been still working out at home. It's not the same as the gym. I can't get past that. But just that, and then being outside, I think just sunshine, fresh air, and just being kind of isolated. I really love that.
I love it. And you're a pro at being able to refuel so that you can tackle all of those type A things. You do a good job at that. Okay, Katie, you're up.
Mine is so stupid. I'm so sorry, but I love taking things off my to-do list. So I will fill it with absolute nonsense just so I can cross it off. Go to the bathroom, spend way too much money on online shopping, bake a new pie that I didn't need to eat because I've already eaten all my calories for the day. But I'll do them just so I could do it and take it off my to-do list. And by the end of the day, I feel so accomplished even if I've done nothing. But it feels great.
Enneagram 1?
And stop putting bad habits on your to-do list.
I love that.
I'm just kidding. That is awesome. Okay, Taryn, you're up.
Good. Okay, working out for sure. I agree with everybody on that. I also do love to-do lists, though I am not very good at them lately. Let's be honest. My motivation and focus is shot since this pandemic has happened. So I'm trying very hard to get it back together again. Being a mom gives me life. I've noticed that a lot too, but only when I feel like I'm being a good mom, which right now is not all the time. Being a parent now is tough. Coffee. I love the social part of that. Something about, and especially with people that you care about, and I love that. It doesn't have to be coffee, it could be tea, it could be hot chocolate. And I really love learning about people and helping. Nailed it this time. Trina, what gives you life?
Ditto everything you guys said, except working out. I'm learning to let that give me life. We've been having sunshine again lately, not today, but Lincoln has started to have spring, and oh my goodness, sunshine gives me life. And people kind of talk about we don't necessarily want to go back to what normal was before the pandemic, and how do we want life to look different after? And that is one thing I want to be different, is I don't have an outside office window that sees sunshine. So I want to be more intentional about leaving my desk and going outside. So I'm looking forward to implementing that.
A really good point. There's a few things I think all of us probably don't want to go back to. Like
Mhm.
normal was kind of broken in some ways. So I think it'll be nice moving forward and how we're going to change things to make it better. I'm actually looking forward to that too. Like something I think we should all start taking lunch hours. Just little things like
agree.
that we haven't been always maybe doing to be the best versions of ourselves. So I'm excited to see where that goes. So anything else anybody wants to add before we end our video today about ask a union student anything? Did we forget anything that's really important? I was just happy to see all your faces. It makes me so happy. I miss all of you so much. Oh, well, if there's nothing else. Oh, sorry.
Just to add, if anybody does think of anything or has any questions, you can definitely reach out to any of us, reach out to the Career Center, Student Success. We're all more than happy to answer your questions. Or if you want to talk to somebody who's, I mean, we have different majors here. I'm nursing, Hannah's education, Katie's business. So you're curious about that kind of stuff or just want to know any more about it, definitely reach out to us.
We like to keep track of odd questions we get. So the weirder, the better sometimes. Don't worry, we're not afraid of any of these. So, well, thank you girls so much for doing this today. And I miss you all so much. Bye. Hopefully we get to see all your union family soon.